Hey everybody, my name is Tommy Szurgot, and this was my Halloween costume this year. Walt Disney has had such a huge impact on me in my life, from who he was to what he accomplished to all the great stories that he helped to create and share with the world. And growing up with these, they really inspired me as a kid, but then growing up, they kind of challenged me because I wanted to bring these props and characters to life. And from his first classic, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, perhaps no prop as important as the poison apple. Without it, would Snow White have found true love? I don't know. And jumping ahead a great many years to Toy Story. Though not from Walt himself, he did kind of lay the groundwork for that and all these other great classics that we've come to know and love over the years. But when it comes to my all-time favorite, I think I'll join Lumiere over here and join you to be our guest as I share my review of why Beauty and the Beast is my all-time favorite Disney movie. So the movie opens through a really clever and beautiful background storytelling through a series of stained glass windows. I love how they did that. And then after that little background story is done, it jumps right into our first of many beautiful songs done by Alan Menken. And in this song we get introduced to our main characters that we're going to see most throughout the movie. There's Belle, the intellectual heroine who can't get her nose out of a book. Then we've got Gaston, the pompous meathead who wants to woo and marry Belle, but she wants nothing to do with him. And then we get LeFou, Gaston's right-hand yes-man. And then soon after the song is over, we meet Maurice, Belle's well-intentioned inventor father. And in the whole first act, we just kind of see these characters and get to know their relationships with each other, and it's a good solid base for the movie. Because in the second act, it's where things start to pick up and get a little more interesting. And that's what's seen with Disney movies. They start off with these relatable characters and scenarios, and then as the story progresses, they add more fantastical elements to them. And it's through these fantastical elements that it makes it a little more interesting and keeps you intrigued in the story. And so in Beauty and the Beast, the second act is where we get introduced to Beast and his enchanted servants, and it kind of picks up from there. So when you first meet the Beast, he is this passive-aggressive, just angry monster kind of thing. He's so frustrated because of this curse and he doesn't know how to fix it, and he's just so, which is understandable because of the situation he's put in. He doesn't know how to fix it. He's just there like this, and he's like, what do I do, what do I do? And then you meet his servants, who are in the same boat as him, because they're cursed too, but they know how to, make the most of the situation. They're more lighthearted about it all. And I love how they use those characters in this movie, because I believe this is the first Disney movie that didn't use animals as that kind of secondary sidekick character. It was... yes, there's animals in this movie. There's Philippe the horse, there's the footrest dog, and then there's the wolves. But outside of those, I think it was, just the servants. And after this movie was Aladdin, and that one used magic carpet, but I'm pretty sure the rest were animals there. And then a few years later was Hunchback of Notre Dame, which used gargoyles. But I think that Disney's Beauty and the Beast was the first to kind of break that animal mold. And so hats off to you, Beauty and the Beast. Another awesome thing about you. So as the story continues, it just keeps getting better. You get introduced to more new characters like Mrs. Potts and her son Chip, and some not so favorable characters like the asylum director, Monsieur Dark. I love it. That guy. And so you get these great characters, but then you also get to see these enchanted items that help tell the story too. You get the rose whose petals fall off and as the last petal falls off, the curse can't be reversed. That's so genius. And then you get the enchanted mirror that can show you just about anything. They never fully explain the extent of that mirror, but I would say it can show you anything. So you've got these characters, you've got these props, and now you go into the scenery. The background artists of this movie did a wonderful, wonderful job. I love how you reveal more of the castle as Belle and the Beast kind of fall for each other more. And I get goosebumps every time I see the library scene where Belle's in there with her eyes closed, and then she just opens up to the light and you see this gorgeous library full of books. And of course, it's Beauty and the Beast, so no review would be complete without talking about the ballroom scene. A beautiful mix of the computer-generated room with the hand-drawn characters. It's pretty common nowadays, but back then it was revolutionary. It wasn't the first time it was done, but they did a beautiful job with that. And so, just as the story builds, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And now, I feel I'd be remiss if I did not bring up the whole Belle falling in love with Beast thing. So many people refer to that as Stockholm Syndrome, and I can see where they're coming from, because, you know, the first encounter, they kind of prisoner and kind of thing, but I don't think it was, because the way Disney played this out, I think they were very smart with this, and they made it out properly, and it wasn't a Stockholm thing. Because as Belle was snooping around in the wing with the Enchanted Items, and she comes across the rose, then the Beast kind of goes on his little, "Get out!" And then Belle freely leaves the castle. No locked doors. She just goes out, no one's stopping her. She leaves the castle and exits into the woods. And so she wasn't actually locked in the castle. Yes, she was the prisoner in such a way, but she got out of the castle. And what they don't show you is the Beast's reaction from there. So they just follow Belle as she goes out into the woods, and then she's out there, and then she encounters the wolves. But the Beast kind of... Here's where it's all gray kind of thing. But I honestly don't think the Beast went out to bring her back to the castle. He knows this place, he knows the woods, he knows there are wolves. I don't think he went out to bring her back, but to make sure she was safe. Because the way I picture it in my mind is how it, like, "Get out!" Then he's kind of like, then he realizes, wait, she's going out there, there's the then he feels like guilty, and he doesn't want anything to happen to her, because then that'd be on his conscience too. So he kind of like jumps out the window or something, gets to her really quickly, and then he's there and he fights off the wolves and keeps her safe. And at this point now, Belle is outside the castle grounds. She can easily just go back to town. The wolves are gone, the Beast is down. She can easily just go back into town. However, there's another situation where she could have brought the Beast back to the castle and said, you know, "Here you go, servants, here's the Beast, I'm late, I'm leaving now." That could have happened also. But, of her own free will, Belle, she's a good person, so she decided to stay with the Beast. And so, in her own free will of doing that, it's not really Stockholm Syndrome anymore, because she could have, there's those two scenarios. She could have just left while the Beast was down in the woods, or she could have taken him back and then left. But she decided to stay. And so, that's where I don't quite see it as Stockholm Syndrome. I just see it as she has a good heart, and she sees that the Beast isn't as bad as he might seem, even though he's big and scary at times, but there's good in him, and she sees that. And so she decides of her own free will to kind of stay and take care of him and help him. And in that, their love starts to grow there. So I do see the argument because of how it first plays out, but I don't think it's a Stockholm Syndrome love. I think that they legitimately just kind of fell for each other because they were living together and with each other, and it just worked out that way. So, you know, she just did what she felt in her heart, and it was the right thing to do. So the movie concludes with Belle is the one that is there to break the curse. Even though it was a super close call, there was a couple of deaths and almost deaths, but she did utter the words, "I love you," to the Beast before he took his last breath and before the last rose petal fell to the tabletop. And yeah, it's just this like powerful scene. And I'm not afraid to admit that in the live action Beauty and the Beast from 2017, I got choked up and I shed a tear. It was just, it really got to me, that scene where she says "I love you" to the Beast. It was, love it so much. This movie is great. And then it ends, of course, with the curse being broken and everything reverting back to its original form. The castle has this beautiful white exterior, and all the servants turn back into their human forms, and just such a great movie. You know, these characters, the story, the comedy, the action, the drama, the love, it just has it all. I love this movie so much. And there's a ton of great Disney movies out there. I love them all, truly. But when it comes to a story about love, I'm gonna favor that one usually. That's me personally. I love stories. And this one's a beautiful one. And so definitely check it out. If you haven't seen it before, definitely give it a watch. If you have seen it before, watch it again. It's such a great movie. But yeah, so that is my review of the 1991 Disney's animated Beauty and the Beast. Great movie. Love it, love it, love it. Check it out. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching this review. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Bye.